Hello, Coder. Welcome back. As you know, I've been working on my programming language Natalie, which is a Ruby implementation, and it's coming along nicely. In one of the more recent videos, I showed you how I've been translating over to C++ from C, and that's a slow process. But today I thought I would work on adding floating point numbers to the language. We've gotten this far without needing them, and I was trying to add something the other day. I think it was mspec, which is the spec runner for Ruby spec, and it had a whole bunch of floating point stuff in it, and I ended up commenting a lot of it out, and I thought, you know what, I've waited long enough. Let's see if we can do that. And I went ahead and pulled over the specs for floating point, and there's a bunch. I doubt we'll even touch a lot of these. I may end up deleting them before the end of the video, but I just wanted to see how far we can get today in the next hour. And if you're here for the ride, then welcome, and let's see what we can do. So let's see. I got the spec stuff there. Let's just run it. Make sure I'm all up to date. Ben, Natalie, spec float. What is it? Core float? Yeah. What's a good one to run? How about just float spec? Let's see what happens. Well, that's a little bit surprising. Uninitialized constant float. What does float spec actually do? Float. Okay, so that's just working with the class itself. What's another one we can do? EQL. Oh, right. And Natalie. Okay, this is what I was expecting to see. Unknown literal and then 0.0. So we don't even know what to compile that into in our C++. So we will get to add that to our compiler. And I think the first place to go is here in pass 1 of our compiler. We got my mic set. Good. We have all of these regexes and ranges and integers and symbols, but we don't have float. So I guess we'll just add it. exp new, and it'll be a new float value. Pass in the environment and pass in the literal. Cool. Well, that should get us a new error, but it didn't. 414. Oh, you know what? I think I just didn't give it enough time. Unknown node type 0.0. Pass 2, 157. Pass 2, 157. We'll just keep going through our passes. Yep. Floats are fine. And are we going to get to pass 3? Yep. Pass 3, line 51. 51. Floats are fine here. Go ahead and just pass them through as is. And pass 4, 133. Float. Cool. Okay, so now we're in the C++ failing to compile. GCC is yelling at us because there is no such thing as float value. But we will fix that. So I'm just going to copy integer value HPP and save as float value. And I'm not sure how much of this we'll need. Float value. This will make a double. Nope, can't be a float. We'll just say number. This will be a float, which isn't a thing yet. We'll have to go do that. Float number float to double will be yeah, is 0, float 0, and this is float, and this will be 0. Oh, double. Okay, so that's almost happy. Now let's go to Natalie HPP, and we'll go ahead and copy that in, that line, float value HPP. Okay, I guess that's all we have to do there. Value HPP is where I need to add some stuff. So float here for our enum. We're going to need a predicate method here. I'm not sure what order these are in. They don't seem to be in much of an order. Float, float, and then float value as float. Unknown type name float. Not sure why. Why don't you like that? Value type float. Okay, so that's happy. Class value, what are you yelling about? Unknown type name float value. Well, I'm working on it. Float value. Okay, so that's also unhappy. I added it here. Oops. I just got to figure out what I'm missing. Float value. There's not even an integer value CPP, right? No. Okay. Class value HPP. Module value. Unknown type name float value. Okay, that's what I expected. But why? Oh, forward, right, in my forwarding header. Okay, I'm getting it. I'm new to this stuff. Some of it. Float value. That should make this happy. Ah, yes. Okay, cool. So, do we get any farther now? Assertion is IO failed. Might need to just do a clean build here since I reordered the enumerable. I inserted a new value in the middle of it. That always makes things mad. Ooh, baby, look at this. Initialize constant object float. Well, that happens in main CPP. And integer global env has little pointers to our commonly used things, and integer is one of them. Debating on whether I need to put float in here. I don't even remember why I put integer in here. Yeah, I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to copy this and do float and kill that. Numeric subclass. Just make sure in Ruby, float is indeed a subclass of numeric. Subclass, we'll call it float, of course. and we're going to const set it. Now integer has, that has two names. That's fine. And then float init and float. And the init macro is over in built-in. I don't really love the naming, but that's, it is what it is. Integer init. So we just need, and we don't have any methods yet, so let's just comment that out. What happens there? So let's do make and run that. Undefined method be true for object. And that might just be part of the spec suite that we haven't implemented, so not directly related to. Do we have be nil? We have be nil. Okay, so let's just do be true. What does be nil do? Do I want to? Nah, I don't care about that. I'm just gonna do it this way. Equal expectation true, and I'm gonna add a false. False. Does that get us closer? Oh, boom! We have two passing tests. Float EQL returns true if other is a float equal to self. Cool. Okay, so this is the equal spec. EQL spec. EQL. I don't know that I've even implemented those. Like, do I even have EQL on integers? See, I think that's wrong. Yeah. I don't ever use EQL in Ruby, so I'd kind of forgotten about that method. So I assume what that does, or I think I know what that does. If I do 1 equal to 1 dot 0, that's true. But it's not EQL because that is only true if it's the same type. So we need to implement the EQL method to get this test passing. Curious though, how is that even returning at all? Define method EQL. So I have kernel equal. Equal. Okay. Interesting. So I do need that integer CPP. I'm just gonna cheat and make this float.cpp. And don't need math probably. Just gonna kill all that stuff. We're gonna say this is, what are we gonna call this? Float EQL. And this is as float, and float value, say, no, we do assume there's one argument. I'm gonna say if, let's do value other equals args 0. If other is float and other dot to double equals, let's say, self. Let's just do self. To double return nat true, otherwise return nat false. I think that's how I would write this. Right, no dots. This is a pointer, to double, no member name, to double on Natalie value. Other, Oh, right. Okay, so this needs to be as float because we know it's a float. We just checked if it's a float. Coerce it to a floating point value. Get the double out of it. Compare, return true or false. Over here in built-in, I need to add this. Just going to copy and paste. I think these are in alphabetical order. Yeah, we're going to go with that. Not float in it. And I only want one method right now. And that one method is EQL question. Float EQL. Float EQL. Maybe? If I did everything right, then this test should completely pass. And it didn't. What did I do wrong? Undefined method as undefined reference to as float. Why is that? Oh, I think as float, this is just a declaration. It's not the definition. That's right. So value CPP as integer. I need to copy that. Those were in alphabetical. Well, they're kind of in alphabetical order. I don't know, except for these. Float value as float. Assert that it is a float and a static cast to a float value. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And we still have a failing test. Returns true if other is a float equal to self. False should be equal to true. Well. Ben Natalie. If I say 1.1 equals 1.1. Oh, I don't even have an equal method. QL. False. Fascinating. So, float CPP. If the other is a float and the double equals self double, Well, let's just do this. And yes, I am still using printf. Old habits die hard. I haven't really gotten into C++ streams yet. So, doing a little bit at a time, biting off what I can chew. So let's say other equals percent. Oh, I don't even remember how to do a double. I don't know if that'll work. I don't think that'll work. Others float to double. Just gonna yell at me. Format specifies type double, but the argument has type int 64, aka long. Oh, but the argument has type. Ooh, there's the problem. I did something wrong over here. Ah, there it is. Double. Perfect. So I think that'll just fix it right there. No? Okay, so let's put this back, and what does it print out? Nothing. I'm not convinced it's actually running this. Yeah, this is my high-tech debugging skills in action here. Yeah, it's not even running my method. So what does that mean? Oh, I know. I commented out this. So it's not running. It's not actually defining the method. And so it was falling back to the kernel method on the kernel module. Yes! Boom! We have our first passing test, people. This is great. You know, that wasn't too bad. When did I start? Oh, I don't have my timer. I don't know. It feels like 20, 30 minutes maybe? Cool. I am just going to add that to my index so I know I'm kind of at a working spot here. Man, I don't even know where to where to go next. There's going to be so many failing tests. I mean, what's going to be interesting for you to watch on a video? How about let's do greater than and less than, and we'll go from there. So greater than spec. Okay, does not rescue exception raised in other course. Raises an argument error when given a non-numeric. Returns true if self is greater than other. Undefined method for float. Okay, so I have to remind myself for integer, how did I define greater than and less than? Do I just do the spaceship operator? Yes, so I have to remind myself how that works. That's this one. I'm just going to copy that and paste that here, and we'll say float. This is a float value. Float accepts one argument. If the argument is not a float, then return nil. I think that's wrong based on the test that I just saw, but that's okay. Double to double and float to double. If double one is less than double two, actually let's make this, do I want a D? Yeah, I'll do D. It actually returns an integer because it's -1, 0, or 1. I don't know, just the way it works in Ruby. So built-in HPP. Want to add one thing here, CMP. This is my spaceship operator and CMP. Cool. Well, something changed. One of them changed from an error to a failure. Returns true if self is greater than other. False should be equal to true. Returns true if self is greater than other. Fascinating. Whoa. Float GT spec. So returns true if self is okay. So what line was that? Line 8. That's this line. 1.5. Oh, because it's an integer. It's an integer. So this is not true. If the how do I want to handle that? Because you can pass in an integer. Do I need to coerce it to a float? Yeah. Okay, let's do that. So if it is an integer, then we're going to say this is gonna get kind of weird. Maybe to double d2. Say d2 equals arg as integer to int 64t, but that's not right. Well, that should yell at me, right? Or is it going to cast it for me? I think it's going to cast it for me. Else if that, then return nil, which again I think is wrong. Else then it's a floating point number. Oh, is this kind of dumb? Why don't we say this is the else, if nat type arg equals value type float, then do that. If it's an integer, do this. And now that I've seen this, let's make this a switch. Type arg case. Oh, it's gonna, that's fine. I don't care. Break. Break. And default is return that. I think that would, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. Well, I didn't like that either. Raises an argument error when given a non-numeric. Does not rescue. Returns true if self is greater than. Undefined method big num value. Oh, well, we got a new error. That's good. Line 10. That's here. Where is big num value supposed to come from? Big num value. Obviously, it's in our spec library somewhere. RG def big num value. Def. Okay. I don't know. Was it like some sort of global or something? Ugh. This is what I didn't want to do, is just look through a bunch of code. Holy moly. It's a method. Where is it coming from? Big num value. And it's not defined. Okay, well, I'm just going to comment that out for now. I don't really care that much about it yet. Does not rescue exception raised in other coerce. Coerce? What is coerce supposed to do? Coerce error. Should receive coerce and raise. Well, I love RubySpec because these are tests I don't have to write. Problem, of course, is understanding what is actually happening. So is that actually running is the question. Yes, that is running. Cool. Send method. I mean, oh, because we're not calling coerce. Okay, what does coerce do? I'd never even heard of that. Ruby float coerce. Returns an array with both numeric and float represented as float objects. What? 1.2 coerce 3 returns an array with both numeric and float represented as float objects. This is achieved by converting numeric to a float. Is that weird? I guess that's just a floating thing. Floating point thing. So I could try this, right? I could do IRB 1 coerce 2. So it works on integers. Well, no, it works on float. Apparently, whatever you give it. Oh, weird. Weird. Okay, and what is it supposed to do? It's supposed to does not rescue exception raised in other course. Course error. Okay, fair enough. So, well, I thought this would be much simpler. What it sounds like is over here, where I was doing this switch statement to do my own coercion. Oh man, I'm having trouble even formulating my thoughts. What if I give this a string? Confusing. Returns an array with both numeric and float represented as float objects. This is achieved by converting numeric to a float. And then what about integer? It has its own course. Returns an array with both numeric and a big represented as big num objects. Why did they? And a this is a bad documentation. This is achieved by converting numeric to a big num. Well, we don't have big num yet. Type error is raised if the numeric is not a fixed num or a big num type. Cool. So if I have 1.1 coerce and I pass 2.0, I get back both floats. If I pass an integer, I get back floats. Okay, I think I can handle that. And if I pass a string, then it's converted to a float. If I pass a string that can't be converted to a float, then I get an error. So I just need to implement all of these in a method called coerce. Fair enough. That's what I will do. Okay. Coerce. And we'll have to do it on integer, but maybe not today. Self is a float. And we'll say, and I assume if you pass in no args, it yells. And if you pass in 2 args, it yells. Only expected 1. So we're going to do an assertion on the arg count of 1. And we're going to say value other equals args 0. And I think I can copy, or at least start with this switch statement and go from there. So if the argument is a float, which was this case, then we're going to return let's go ahead and make an array. Array value array equals new array value. And I guess in all cases, it's always going to return a float or an error. So I can go ahead and add I don't remember, do I have yeah, I can take an initializer list. Okay, perfect. So this can be new, or I can just be self. Right. I've already forgotten how do initializer lists work. You can just pass it in. No, I need to do this. Standard initializer list with its type, and then I think that's right. Yeah, we'll check that in a second. Okay. Other args. Okay, gosh, sorry. So I want to do array push. I want to push. It's already a float, so I just want to push it onto the array. And down here, we're going to return the array. And if it's an integer, then I want to array push as integer 2 and 64. Should I do new float value like this? Maybe. If it's an integer, if it's a string, then I can I have a 2i here, don't have a 2f yet. I don't remember even how I did this. Oh, str2ll. I don't want to implement that yet. Printf to do abort. Okay, so we're going to handle that later. Anything else we want to raise? I'm just going to steal that. What was the error we got? Argument error. And it's going to be invalid value for float. And inspect the thing. At arc. Does that work? Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's right or not. Built-in HPP coerce coerce. Let's put these in order. Well, which order? Which order is the question? MNOP. Okay. So that was adding coerce. Does it even work? Oh, right. Because I think I'm still, like I said, I'm still kind of new to this stuff, but I think I need to do this for the initializer list, and this is going to be value star. Let's see if that fixes that problem. Arg was not declared in the scope. Did you mean array? 47. Oh, I did. Let's just do arg here. Make, okay, what else? Narrowing conversion of int64 to, oh, long int to double. Narrowing conversion. Why is it narrowing? Because it's 64-bit signed to 64-bit float. Okay, well, you get to see me Google because I don't know how that works. C++ coerce double to int. No, that's not the right way. Coerce. Wait, hold on. What? Oh, right. Right, the other way. Int to float. Int float casting. Yeah. Convert int to float. No. Type conversions. Oh, I hate this site so bad. Proper int to float conversion. Does it have to be a long double? What if I just do it unsafely for now? Oh, let's do double make. Okay, well, fix me narrowing conversion. Google this. You guys yell at me in the comments if you know what I should do here. I definitely don't want, I mean, maybe I just can't fit a 64-bit signed integer in a double. But I thought you could because they're both 64-bit. So I don't know. Don't know how that works. Definitely something to figure out later. But that gets that compiling, and we still have all the same errors, which is fine. 1.1 coerce 2. Ooh, ouch. That hurts. I got a stack trace in Ruby. Well, let's take the REPL out of everything and just do it this way. Print 1.1 coerce 2. What's the error? We'll go into GDB and see what is causing my segmentation fault. Singleton class send array inspect. Oh, could be that I don't have an inspect for floats. Wait, is that it? Well, it's just using the default. Send array inspect. Yeah, that should have worked. This does remind me that I don't think floats get a singleton class. So if I do 1.1 singleton class, can't define singleton, so we'll just go ahead and take care of that. Value CPP singleton class, can't define singleton. So if is integer or is float or is symbol, then don't define a singleton. I don't think that'll fix this error, but it's just something that came to mind. Value send. This is null. Fascinating. I might have done this a little bit wrong here. Let's just do it this way, just to eliminate that as a possibility. No, not self. Make. Oh, well, that definitely was something wrong with that. Apparently I don't know how the initializer list thing works. Array list. Yeah, something to look into later. Okay, so building the array and then pushing something onto it's fine. Array value HPB. Why didn't that work? Initializer list, set size. Yeah, I'm not sure why that didn't work, because it should be doing essentially the same thing, but this may actually be broken. I don't know if I have used that anywhere yet. Array push self. Okay, so this is now happy, I think. Yeah, cool. I already forgot what I was trying to do. Oh, right here. So, so I think what they were trying to say with this test is that does not rescue exception raised in other course. So if it's not, I guess I need to know when does it call coerce. So let's say I do, I can't know if it's going to call coerce. Man, how do I know? I assume it just calls coerce for anything that's not a float. Let's go with that assumption. So let's say if this is a float, then set the double like that. Otherwise, value coerced equals not send env arg coerce with one argument and self and no block. Then it's going to be, I've already forgotten how this works. So if I call, it's always the second one. It like reverses them. Okay. Oh, so weird. So D2 is coerced as array, the second item. Oh, that feels so wrong. But sometimes you just got to run it and see what happens. Nat send. Oh, it's oh, golly. Arg send env. That was the old C API, still in my head. Float value. Value conversion from float value to value. Well. Aren't you particular? Float value. I think it's because you don't know. I just want to look. No? I thought it was because. Well, yeah, I shouldn't even need that because I have this header. Yeah, why aren't you happy with that? So, I mean, I can do that. I guess that's just as good. Convert value to double. Oh, right. So we're going to say as float to double. And this is making a lot of assumptions. But I have assertions in there, so it's just going to get us a little bit farther. Should have raised argument error, but instead of raised no method error. Undefined method course for string. Okay, that's good. So are you telling me that a string foo.coerce yeah, it doesn't. Okay. So what's it supposed to raise? Raise an argument error when given a non-numeric. Oh, and it's not numeric. Okay, we're just going to do this. This is a little bit gross. Integer, do that, else, and then we're going to do arrays. What should it raise? Argument error, 1.1 is greater than b. Comparison of float with string failed. So this is my message. Comparison of float with %s, and we're going to say arg class name. Already forgotten. Module value HPP. I don't think I've made stuff private on this. Oh yeah, I did. Do I have class name on here? Yeah, I do. Cool. Class name. Oh, and this is not right. I think it's just class with a K. Okay, are we getting closer? Class value HPP. Oh, I never did hide that So it's just, yeah, it's just a member. No method call. Wah wah. Okay, one passing test returns true if self is greater than other. Undefined method course for integer. That is true. That is true. That is true. So I didn't even need to implement that. Okay, taking a break. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. I went ahead and implemented integer coerce, kind of similar to the float version, and I still have another fix me in here to come back and look at that narrowing conversion, how to handle that. So I want to do it in a safe way. And then I had this still failing. False should be equal to true. So true if self is greater than other. And I noticed that my logic was backwards on this. Actually should be the first element of the returned array is the one we want to compare against. So if I do that, then I'll have one failing test, does not rescue exception. Should have raised this one, but instead raised argument here, comparison float with object failed. So I just need to figure that out, and we'll be golden. So let's see here. Should have raised a course error. I mean, if this raised an error, then it should just bubble up. I'm not rescuing it. So it's curious. I guess I'm curious if that is even being called. Should raise error. What if I just do this? What happens? Float with object failed. Line 9. Curious, these line numbers aren't quite right. This one's right, but this is somewhere deep inside of my implementation. So that's why this says the wrong thing. Comparison of float with object failed. Well, that's this error. Oh, right. So this does need to be an else. Oh, okay. I got it. So if arg respond to coerce, maybe? What does that get us? Does that get us closer? Coerce error does not rescue. Yes. Gonna work. Yes. Okay, well, I'm wrapping this video up. I'm going to keep going down the list. I mean, the number of specs in here is just insane. I'm just going to keep pecking away at it. I might make another video if it seems interesting. But thanks for tagging along. If you know what I did wrong in various places, please comment below. Let me know. I love learning new things. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.